But back to this $12,000 y'all harped on for the third time you've been here.
Okay,
The guy that had this bid, he does not do quality work.
Okay.
I was on boards before, and he put a bid in, and I did check him out, which I've known him all his life,
okay.
and that's why we didn't do that.
Well, I checked with people's bids too. I talked to Nathan Lear, who mows 23 yards here in the community right now. Mows the Penny Ryle substations. Also has Martin home place out there, and had the equipment, and also was looking forward to readjust his job if he got that bid. And he was at $33,000. And I talked to some people about his mowing. And y'all more than welcome to go look at Martin at home placements. Nobody else checked on him, because I knew that was going to happen, that somebody was going to say, well, the $12,000, but I did go check. I didn't check on all of them. I could have, but I did not. And the other thing was, right here on number 1, all y'all had a discussion about not giving him the contract. It says it in the minutes. But right here, Watson's sitting in the room, absolutely no discussion whatsoever. Y'all walk into the room, no discussion. Raise your hand. Everybody, Doug walks in and says, give it to Mr. Ricuti. No discussion whatsoever. That's a little bit interesting to me that we had absolutely no discussion about anything. Not to mention that you had him locked in for $800 and something cheaper. No mention of that, and you let him raise it $800 more. He taught y'all lessons, what he done right there, that if he's here in this room, y'all gonna do what he wants done. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly the way it happened, because there's no discussion. There's discussion about him not getting it when he's not in the room, but he walks into the room, because every one of you said you was looking to get a different bid. You got different bids that were a lot lower and never checked. No mention of them, no mention of nothing. All it was how great of a job he does. And that's exactly the way it went. Any comment or anything? People tell me, I heard that the sunshine law was probably broken right then when y'all knew before you walked into the room who you was voting for. I don't know. Like I said, I've had so many people come up with so much stuff here in the last 2 months. There's so many people angry over this situation that it's just ridiculous. And I mean, there's people in this room right now that are going to support him. But I'll tell you this, they can't argue with black and white. Just like with my son with the cookies on his face, he can tell me he didn't eat the cookies, but I can look at the paper and see that you did. Every one of you. Every one of you was there. And now, I'm going to go to number 6, where y'all said y'all didn't admit even considering the other bids. All but one council member admitted that it was a bad decision, admitted that he made a bad decision, and Doug told me in that meeting right there, the exact thing he said was Watson picks up the limbs for free and doesn't get paid any extra. Well, I went and got how much he did get paid, and he got a special payment of $1,130 for special maintenance the year before for doing extra work in the cemetery. I guess that would be cleaning up limbs. And that's just what I can prove from what I've looked into. And for a total, y'all paid him last year right at $80,000. And there's absolutely nobody else that has a bid, can even bid on it. Absolutely nobody that can bid for that $80,000 bid. Who knows, it might be $60 if somebody else was to bid and they actually had an opportunity at it.
Jamie, are you sad that you didn't bid on it?
No, ma'am, you know what I told Nathan Lear? I hope he gets it. I hope somebody else gets it. But Nancy, you'll never be my boss. I promise you. Just like that comment you made a while ago about digging my mama up. And I promise you this, I'm going to tell you my goal. My goal at this point, you don't know what my goal is at this point?
You can move those graves.
That's not my goal. That's not my goal, Nancy. My mama's there, my granddaddy's there. My goal at this point is to maybe get somebody to come in here and investigate the city council. At this point, maybe get somebody to come in here outside of Todd County to show up and do the right thing, because I got it right here in black and white. If anybody wants to do it, it's a lot of circumstantial stuff, but it would hold up, Nancy.
We'll bring them on. It'll be fine.
And then, I got one other thing, and I sure hope that maybe enough people in this city will run for city council, and I got a feeling the ballots will be full next time. I'm more than confident in that.
You gonna move to town?
No, I'm not moving to town.
Come on in, bring your
I'm
friends
not
in.
moving to town, but like I said, y'all didn't answer none of that. You have no defense, just like I said.
But I had heard you all say you were afraid to go to the cemetery, and we don't want anybody afraid to go to our cemetery. And I'm dead serious when I say there are companies that move. It doesn't matter how long they've been there.
Nancy, do you believe that I've had death threats over this? Let me ask you this.
I don't.
Do you believe
I
that?
don't.
Go ask Joey, see what he says. Do you believe I got run off the road the first meeting? You don't believe that either, do you?
I know you came running in here hollering, but you wouldn't tell me who did it, and I told you if you don't gonna tell me who did it, don't tell me the story.
It wouldn't do no good to tell you who done it, just like you telling me to move my mom out of the grave out there. I done told you a whole bunch of stories.
I'm saying you could. You could.
Who's gonna pay the bill? That's your topic.
She keeps interrupting.
She's running she's taking care of the business.
So,
Well, that's just what I've got, and that's,
have you got anybody else that would like to speak? Peggy, you wanna say something?
Yes, I would.
All right, would you stand up and quote your
My
name,
name's Peggy
please?
Griggs, and I noticed where, Nancy, you stood up for the original vote of the city council. Well, was that the original vote of March the 11th or April the 8th, where you, March 11th, you voted not to rehire him? And then, on April the 11th, you voted to rehire him. If he was such a good, as you all say, a good cemetery caretaker, why did y'all vote not to rehire him the first time then?
Every so often, we have to bid that.
How many times have y'all ever not voted him back in, except this one time? How many times? I don't know myself. I don't know the answer to that.
Oh, probably a dozen. I don't know.
It never was in the paper, evidently y'all kept that out. And anyway, drugs affected so many people in this community. It's affected our family. I've got a nephew in jail right now, and he's the little man. He's not the big man up here that's manufacturing this big stuff. So we need to get this stopped. I don't know how, and it's affected my family. And I got a picture here of 2011 of people that have been got for drugs. They affect some of our family members in here. Now you don't want to admit it, maybe, but I admit my family, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It makes me very sad and very unhappy that my nephew's in jail, in prison, and I know some of these people right here are family members of some of you all. And we need to put a stop to this some way. I don't know how, unless we have to go to the state legislature. We need to do something.
If you read the dictionary, Mr. Webster says tobacco's drugs too.
So what?
it's legal.
It's-
It's legal. Alcohol's a drug too.
Look at all
It's
these kids,
legal.
Nancy. You got a grandchild. We all got grandkids. We don't want our kids to look like these people in this paper after they're arrested on drug meth. We don't want it like that. I don't want none of y'all's people on drugs.
It's just the right people's involved this time. Probably nothing will come of it.
Everybody's
Just the
covering
right
up.
people.
Everybody's covering up.